Shalom Lakam. Abanawa Shema Shemayim Kodash Hayah Shamka Yahweh. Coming to you live again from the land of Israel, from the city of Jerusalem, in the Mir Shaim. And we're going over Proverbs chapter 1, which is the wisdom. This was revealed, a lot of these proverbs were revealed to Solomon not too far from where we are right now. Alright? And we're going to go into these proverbs, a few of them, in chapter 1. And we're going to explain what the proverbs mean and show you how to use the proverbs and apply the proverbs and the purpose of the proverbs. And we're going to continue to grow in understanding of wisdom. And we're going to let Solomon be our guide. Right? So we're going to start in Proverbs chapter 1, verse 1. Go ahead.
The Proverbs of Solomon, the son of David, king of Israel.
All right, so the Proverbs of Solomon, son of David, king of Yasharahla. Read a little louder. So the proverb is a mashal, a saying. All right, a saying, or an allegory or a parable. All right, so these are the parables or the allegories or the sayings of the peaceful one, which was the son of the beloved one, which was the messenger or the king of the prince of power. So Israel is the prince of power. David is the beloved one. And that love that David had produced Shalamah, which is the peaceful one of Solomon. So once we learn to love Yahweh, then we become at peace with ourselves, at peace with Yahweh, and at peace with those around us. This is the message and the meaning of the Proverbs, to be at peace with the Most High, and to learn to be loved of the Most High, and to love each other. All right? So the Proverbs of Solomon, there's a message even in verse 1, but it wouldn't seem like there was a message. All right? You can get a chair if you want to. All right, go ahead.
To know wisdom and instruction, to receive the words of understanding.
So to know wisdom is why Solomon is writing. So if you want to know wisdom, you need to read this book. All right? To know wisdom and instruction. What is instruction? Instruction is a way to do something. So Solomon is going to tell you how to do certain things. He's going to tell you how to do certain things, and he's going to tell you how to make a difference between things that are words of understanding and things that are just, stupid. Through the Proverbs, we can do these things. So Solomon is going to show us how to do these things. So we know that one of the things we see here is instruction and understanding. To know instruction, to know wisdom and instruction. And so to know instruction and to know wisdom. What is the instruction that Yahweh wants you to do in this situation? See, Proverbs, wisdom will show you. All right? Go ahead.
To receive the instruction of wisdom.
So wisdom instructs you. Wisdom gives you orders, gives you directions, gives you mandates of things that she wants you to do. And this is what Solomon is talking about. See, this is not just a book to read and say, well, that's deep. It's a book to read and say, I need to do that. I need to apply this thing like this. I need to do this. That's what the book of Proverbs is for. That's what wisdom is for. So it says to receive the instruction of wisdom, which means to be able to distinguish between the different levels of things that may be covered, like a motion through water and being made plain to you. All right? That's what wisdom is. Different levels, like a ladder or a fence where things are divided. And they can move, they're covered with a hand to protect or to hide. And they're protecting and hiding those things that are in different levels and chambers. what happens is there's a fluid movement, like mayam, like water. And then we can behold it, and then we do exactly what it says to do. Hey, Zayatan, come here. What does that say on that bottle? That one, the other bottle. What does that say? It says Zayata. It says Zayata. Actually, I gotta say, yeah, Za. No, Z. Okay, so, to receive the instruction of wisdom, go ahead.
Justice and judgment and equity.
Justice, which is righteousness. To Zaqan, the balance of right and wrong in the entire universe. Judgment are those decisions and those plans that we make that need to be executed. All right? So we receive judgment, we receive justice and righteousness, and we receive the instruction of wisdom. Right? The instruction of wisdom. And what?
And judgment and equity.
And equity. Equity, which is like the balance, all right, between righteousness and positive, Yasharahla. The balance between making sure everything is fair, everything is on the same, everything is opposite and polar, and everything is fair and balanced. That's what equity is. Go ahead.
To give subtlety to the simple, to the young man, knowledge and discretion.
So subtlety to the simple. So a simple man will be able to read this book and understand the subtlety of speeches, the subtlety of different kinds of words, the subtlety of what is a person saying beneath what they're saying. How to read between the lines when you're dealing with a person, or when you're reading something, or when you see something with your eyes. How to extract more understanding than you can observe. All right, go ahead.
A wise man will hear.
Okay, so let's go back. So here we have 7 pillars of wisdom. Okay, we have instruction and knowledge. We have understanding. We have discretion. We have equity. We have justice, judgment, and then the 7th one we have is wisdom. So those are the 7 things that we have. So what we're going to do, we're going to take these 7 pillars of wisdom and we're going to use them in different verses to show you how to use the Proverbs, how to actually use wisdom. Because Solomon has given us instruction on what he wants us to do and how he wants us to do it. And he's getting his wisdom from wisdom. And wisdom is getting those words from Yahweh. Go ahead.
A wise man will hear and will increase learning.
So a wise man will hear the things that we're reading. Do you think I want you there? Huh? Okay. A wise man, yeah, you can go and stand wherever. You want to stay there, that's fine too. So a wise man will hear it. You see, a wise man will hear, and his learning increases. So a wise man can take a piece of his wisdom and just apply that thing all around to so many different situations, to so many different circumstances. So a wise man will hear it and say, okay, that's what it says, this is what it means. All right? I can apply it to dogs, to people. All right? Soft answers turn away wrath. Humans, because wrath is a spirit. So it works on humans and dogs. Cows, all right? Works on cats, okay? It's a universal concept that wisdom, remember, goes through everything by reason of her purity. Wisdom goes through everything. Okay? So it says what? It says to give subtlety to the simple. Understanding, it says the young man knowledge and discretion. So when it says young man, knowledge and discretion, that's letting you know that you must come to wisdom as a child. You must come to wisdom as a child. You can't come to wisdom as an adult. You can't come to wisdom as, I'm too old, can't nobody tell me what to do. You've not been on this earth for 973 years. You can't come to it. You have to come to wisdom as a young person. Wisdom is a part of being born again. The first level of wisdom is realizing we have to keep the commandments and returning to Yahweh in the name of Yahushua. All right? So to give subtlety to the simple, to the young man, knowledge and discretion. That discretion is mazamah, which is the plan of how to execute and how to do everything in your life. So as we read the proverb, they give us the instructions on what we need to do and how they need to be done. All right, go ahead. Call your verse. Go verse 5 again.
Proverbs chapter 1, verse 5. A wise man will hear.
A wise man is going to hear the wisdom. Go ahead.
And will increase learning.
And his ability to learn increases now with wisdom. So if you want to learn more, you have to go through wisdom. Because anything you learn outside of wisdom is just academic. It's just of the flesh. It's just carnal. You can have a carnal understanding of the Bible. The whole world knows in the beginning God created the heaven and earth. The whole world knows that. But does the whole world know what that means? Does the whole world know what in the beginning is? Does the whole world live what we read in Genesis chapter 1? Now go ahead.
And a man of understanding shall attain unto wise counsel.
A man of understanding will be able to elevate to wise counsels. And that's what our purpose is in studying these proverbs. Go ahead.
To understand a proverb.
To what?
To understand a proverb.
So Solomon is writing this book of Proverbs so that you can understand the Proverbs. So it's almost like a practice guide. It's almost like this is a practice guide so you can understand a proverb. All right? So if you're reading the proverb, that says, the full soul loatheth in honeycomb, but to the hungry soul, every bitter thing is sweet. So what does that mean? Well, when you get to 28, and you walk through from chapter 1, and you get to chapter 27, now you'll understand what it means. As you grow in wisdom and your learning increases, you'll be able to look at these proverbs and apply them to different situations, and then Yahweh gives you favor. Yahweh shows you more attention, and Yahweh blesses you and rewards you and gives you peace even with your enemies. All right, go ahead.
And the interpretation.
The what?
And the interpretation.
So not according to what the rabbis say, according to what wisdom says. It's methodical. It's a procedure. There's steps you go through for wisdom. And when you read the Proverbs, it says that it will give you the understanding of a proverb and also the interpretation. How to expand upon it. All right, go ahead.
The words of the wise and their dark sayings.
So to understand the words of the wise, to understand the interpretation, to understand the dark saying that we read about in Ecclesiastes and the wisdom of Solomon in the book of Job.
The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge.
The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. So when you fear Yahweh, Naira, that's when you begin to get knowledge. First you have to fear Yahweh. Fear him meaning you respect and obey him and you fear him. So once you fear him or respect him and obey him, that's the beginning of you being on the right track to get knowledge. You at least know where the track is. Fearing Yahweh is being at the starting line, and then you have to walk around the track now. So the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. And those that fear him, love him. And those that love him, obey him. And those that obey him, love their neighbor, they love yourself. So the beginning of wisdom is first, how do you treat other people? How do you treat other people? That's where we start at with wisdom. What's your relationship with Yahweh? What's your relationship with other people? You humble? Are you aggressive? Are you meek? Are you hostile? What's your relationship with Yahweh and with Yahweh and with other people? So the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. So you won't even begin to see the level of knowledge that Yahweh wants you to know through the Proverbs without fearing him. And that's why I said that any understanding you have outside of wisdom is just carnal understanding, just superficial. Okay? So to fear the Most High, that's when you start to be on your quest for knowledge. Read.
But fools despise wisdom and instruction.
See, fools can't obey the basic rule that the Most High gave. You know, we're talking about from Genesis all the way to Revelation. So we go on those first 5 books. Fools despise the instructions of the Most High. Fools despise wisdom. Meaning what? Wisdom is patient. Wisdom says, you got to go through this chamber now. You got to go through this chamber. Now you got to go through this chamber. Now you got to go through this chamber. Now you got to go through this chamber. Okay, now cover it up. Meditate on it. Think about it. Protect it, guard it. All right? Now, flow through it. Run through them like water. Get some nourishment out of them. Move them around. And now, behold the beauty of it and behold the actions of it. And that's what fools despise. That's why a fool will not deal with wisdom or with instruction from Yahweh. So the fear, the beginning part is wisdom. The beginning part is to obey and to fear Yahweh. If you don't start there, then you're not going to get any further. That's why Yahweh told us we must what? We must be born again. All right, go ahead.
My son, hear the instruction of thy father, and forsake not the law of thy mother, for they shall be an ornament.
So Solomon said, listen to these instructions and understand the balance of them between the masculine and the feminine, between the female and the male. They are both intertwined when you deal with wisdom. The instruction of the father and the law of the mother. Also getting into what? The Torah and getting into wisdom. Just as we see the sun and we see the moon, female and male. So it says, hear these instructions and keep the law of the mother in our actions and our deeds on a regular basis. But we have to hear the instruction, and these are the instructions right here. What's the instructions of Mayan Shabbat? These are the instructions. These are the instructions. You want to know how to deal with something? Okay, what's the instruction book? See? This is the instruction manual for you to make it to the kingdom to get eternal life, to obey Yahweh better. That's what this is for. That's what this book is for. To take these words off of here, put them into here, and then put them out there. You're the filter for this word. You take these words from this book, you put them in your spirit, your mind, and you put them in real life. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Okay, I love you like I love myself. It means nothing if it's on a page. It means nothing in this world if it doesn't get lived. The word of Yahweh lives through us. Everybody else is doing their job. The animals, the trees, the grass, the what. Everybody's doing their job. Here comes big, intelligent, genius, bright, brilliant man that's doing the worst job than the water is doing. The worst job than the trees and the flowers. Flowers say grow, it's time to grow. The Most High says, give a beautiful smell. Here's the beautiful smell. The Most High says, keep the Sabbath to us. We say no. The Most High says, love your neighbor. We say no. The Most High says, be obedient. We say no. The Most High says, be in order. We say no. Most High tells the bird to sing, the bird sings. Most High tells the lily to grow, the lily grows. The Most High says rain drop, the rain drops. Most High says stop rain, the rain stops. The Most High says love your neighbor. You say, oh, he did this to me. She did this to me. you know, but that's not my personality. Most High doesn't care about your personality. Most High cares about what he says. You create, here's the tablecloth. I can't put that tablecloth on here. This doesn't go on here. It's not what that's for. You look at me like I'm crazy. If I try to put all your cups under, what's wrong with this man? Why do you want the cups under the tablecloth? That's how you are talking about your personality to the laws of the Most High. The Most High, Yahweh said love. That's all he means, is love. Love your neighbor and love him. With everything. So that's the basic instruction that we get from our Father. Love Yahweh and love our neighbor. Honor our father, honor our mother. So if you look in the Proverbs, because remember, you know, we have several sources of wisdom in the Bible. But the primary thing, it says what? Hear what your father is saying. And don't go away from the law of your mother. Is that okay? Now go ahead.
For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head.
Read it again.
For they shall be an ornament.
An ornament of what?
Of grace.
Of grace. What does that mean? That means an ornament of grace. All right? An ornament of grace. All right? That means that my words, my speech, my actions are going to be kana and kanan, grace, gracious, kana, kanan. Going to be gracious. It's an ornament. So when you look at me, if I have an ornament on, what are you going to see? When you look at me, you're going to see the ornament. You're going to see, when you look at him talking to you, what do you see? You see the ring. Scratch my head right here. What do you see? You see the ring. That's the ornament. But it's grace. 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 It's a big, big medallion of grace on your spirit when people look at you. So the instruction and the law of Yahweh, the instruction of Yahweh, coming from the masculine side and the feminine side, is like a big medallion that you wear. Big piece of jewelry and everybody sees it. Everybody sees it, how are they going to treat you? Gracious. If you have something on, everybody recognize this uniform as the president or as a very important person, they're going to, well, that's a very important person, we have to treat them differently. We have to treat them differently. If I have a problem, I'm going to go to this person, help me with my problem. So as we deal with grace, an ornament of grace, people come to you now and they show and demonstrate towards you like a person that deals in grace. You want to know why you're having this issue, that issue? Because that's what you're giving up. That's the ornament that you wear. If you walk around and you have and your clothes says, you know what? I'm sexually chaste. I have a high sexual standard. People are going to treat you with the uniform you have on. I have a high sexual standard. I'm very reserved. I'm very chaste sexually. If you have a uniform that says in the least bit, the smallest part of your uniform says, hey, I'm a whore. People are going to say, hey, there's a whore right there. If I'm walking up and down, if I have on a skirt and high heel shoes, you say, oh, that guy's gay. That guy's dressing like a woman. What's his problem? That's how I'm going to be treated. And I can't complain if they treat me like that. Because wisdom says a man is known by his what? By his attire, his gait and his clothing. His gait and his clothing is attire, right? Your gait is what? How you conduct. You look that word up. Gait means your walk, your conduct in yourself. And your attire is what you have on. As a warrior Watazar once told me, if you're not a whore, why are you wearing a whore's uniform? Right? If you're not a man, a foolish person, why are you dealing and wearing a uniform of foolishness? Wisdom and grace should be your ornament. Your words, your mouth, your thoughts. Right? Your conduct should be of grace. All right? Go ahead. Of grace. On thy what?
Unto thy head.
Unto thy head. For they should be Ornaments of grace unto thy head, and what?
And chains about thy neck.
And chains about thy neck. So let's look at 2 chains. Right? Not 2 chains the rapper, but let's look at 2 chains. Here's 1 chain. This is a grace. It's a small thing, right? Ornament, menorah. You can't pull me with this. You can't pull me with this, can you? Right? You can't pull me with this. But with this one, I can pull you with this one, and it ain't gonna break, is it? Not like this is not. But if you pull this like that, it's gonna break. See what wisdom does? First, she puts an ornament of humility on you. She puts an ornament of a heavy rock upon you. Wisdom wants the old man in you to kill him or herself. Wisdom wants you to become a new creature. Wisdom does not want me to be the person that I was before I started dealing with Yahweh. You do not want me to be the person I was before I started dealing with Yahweh. You wouldn't imagine some of the evil things that some of us have done before we started dealing with Yahweh. Nor do we want to imagine these things. Because our brain is supposed to be a house for life. Our spirit is supposed to be a house for life, not of wickedness, not of evil things, but of good things. Wisdom doesn't want to say, "Oh, your breath stinks." Wisdom wants, maybe we should go brush our teeth. Wisdom wants, "I have a mint. Do you want a mint?" That'd be good for both of us. I'll take a mint here, you take a mint too. That's what wisdom wants. Wisdom wants all your life, all your thoughts to be centered around life and growth. To be offensive toward nobody. To be offensive only in defense of the truth. Alright? So scripture says that these things are going to be a grace on your neck. So first, wisdom is going to put this big chain on your neck. How do we know that? Because we read it in Ecclesiastes and Proverbs. She puts a big chain on your neck and she makes you do what she wants you to do. And if you don't do it, she turns her back on you. That's it. Don't come back around here anymore. Until you're ready to do what you're supposed to do. Because we're like the prodigal son. We want to go out there, lay in the mud, and roll around with everything and everybody. And then come back to the Most High. But when we come back to him, we better be ready. Because once wisdom says, hey, do this, and wisdom shows herself to you, and you don't do what she says to do, then she's going to punish you. So right here it says that the law and the instruction are like decorative jewelry on your head and on your neck. But later, see, this one right here doesn't tell us about what comes before this. We got to go into like Ecclesiasticus, and it tells, see, it says, this is like an ornament on your neck, right? And then the same thing that it says about being an ornament on your neck, in the same book, the same man, like dealing with King Solomon in the same spirit of wisdom, says that wisdom is going to be like a chain on your neck, and you got to chain your feet unto her. Chain your feet unto her. All right? So it says with wisdom, it says she will walk with you by the crooked ways, right? It says, come unto her as one that's ready to sow and to reap a benefit. All right? It says right here, it says, put your feet into her fetters and your neck into her chain. Bow down your shoulder and bear her, right? That's what it says. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 6. It says your feet got to be put into wisdom's chain. Chain your feet to wisdom. Chain your feet like a slave walking off the slave ship when you can only walk 6 inches at a time with each foot. And that chain's on your ankle. All right, scraping off the skin on there. All right? And then it says what? And then it says, and thy neck into her chain. So you put your neck into wisdom's chain. Then it says, then shall her fetters be a strong defense for thee, and her chains a robe of glory. So that chain that she put upon you to hold you like a servant, like a slave, then that changes into a robe of glory. But Solomon doesn't tell us that here. In Proverbs chapter 1, it comes later on. See, he's showing you this is the basic level of wisdom that I need for you to get. He showed you this is how you understand the Proverbs. This is how you understand the dark sayings. This is how you understand the words of the wise. So now, Adiyashan, he says, these words in his law are like ornaments, charms, not like a charm, most I forgive me for saying that, but like a medallion, all right, on your head and on your neck. I keep reading.
Proverbs chapter 1, verse 10. My son, if sinners entice thee.
My son, if sinners entice you. Go ahead.
Consent thou not.
Consent thou not. All right? And who's the biggest sinner that tries to entice you? Who's the biggest sinner that tries to entice you? Anybody? Anybody else? Everybody scared to answer? Scared to be wrong, huh? I heard you. Anybody else? Anybody scared to be wrong? All right. What? Your biggest sinner that tries to entice you is you yourself. You yourself, because Hashatan puts a thought there, but then you actually consider it like, maybe I should kiss this monkey on his lips. Maybe I should. Hey, Nathaniel. Or somebody. Maybe I should try to do it this way. Okay. Maybe I should do it this way. Then you spirit, and who makes the decision not to do it? Hashatan or you? You make the decision not to do it. His job is already done. His job is already done. He's the enticer. He's the adversary. His job is always done. It's you that can get hired or fired, that can get demoted or promoted higher. So you entice your own mind. Isn't that what James says? Doesn't James say that? The book of James says the same thing, right? When you entice and you're drawn away, you're being enticed and drawn away by your own lust. James says you're being enticed and drawn away by your own law. Your own evil thoughts is what James says. Right? Your own evil thoughts, your own evil lust. What you want to do. Right? So you're being enticed by your own things, your own desires, what you want to do, what you like. All right? Nobody can entice you to kiss a monkey. But you can be enticed maybe, that scallop or all that crab rangoon. Everybody likes the crab rangoon with the little cheese, cream cheese inside of it. All right? Or a little pork fried rice, a little small cubes of pork with a little red on it. Right? Or shrimp on the skewers or fried shrimp or something. Everybody has different temptations. But the temptation is from you. Hashatan is not the one saying, do this or else. Alright? So the scripture says what? The scripture says, if sinners entice you, consent thou not. And now we can go outside from Hashatan, outside from ourselves. Now we can go into our circle. Are you tempting me to go against the commandments of the Most High? Are you tempting me to not love, to not show mercy, to not be patient? Are you tempting me to be a talebearer? Are you tempting me to eat shrimp? Are you tempting me to talk about someone behind their backs? Are you tempting me to be out of order and rebellious? What seed are you planting in me? If you're planting evil and bad seeds, then you're enticing me to go against the commandments of the Most High. Because there's no words that you can expect to say to me that you should not expect to affect my spirit. So it's going to affect my spirit. So watch what you say to me. Don't entice me. You know, if you say, oh yeah, excuse me, I'm gonna go smoke a joint, I'm gonna go smoke some crack. Just wait for me right here. You're enticing me to do it because I'm looking and following behind you. Don't do anything that you don't want me to do. Don't do anything that you don't want your people that you love to do. Okay? If sin has enticed thee, consent thou not. Go ahead.
If they say, come with us, let us lay wait for blood. Let us lurk privily for the innocent without cause.
Let us just go and do things for no reason. This person's done nothing against you. Let's go do something against them. When James talked about this, the biggest killer is your tongue. Let's go talk against this sister. Let's go talk against this brother. All right, go ahead.
Let us swallow them up alive as the grave, and whole as though that go down into the pit. Let
us take their life force and use it for ourselves. Let us take what they're doing and see how we can use that to build up our own understanding, our own lives, our own desires based on what they're doing. Let us be like a vampire and suck the life from them and bring it to ourselves. This is what it's talking about. This is why Yahushua said that virtue left his body when a woman touched the bottom of his garment. She sucked some of that life, that righteousness out of him. Right? She sucks some of the life out of him. Right? So now we see that these people want to suck life out of you. They want to bring you down alive to the grave, to a lower level, a lower state. Bring you where they are when they're sinning. Sinning meaning what? Just going against the commandments. Could be any sin. Could be any sin. Any sin. If I'm walking through a field of dandelions, what's going to happen? Dandelions are going to get on me. The little seeds, they have to get on me. If I stay away from that field of dandelions, it's not going to get on me. So somebody says, hey, let's go. Why don't you walk? Can you drop me off at church? No, I can't drop you off at church. I'm sorry. Okay? Let us swallow them up whole. Read.
We shall find all precious substance, and we shall fill our houses with spoil.
This is someone trying to tell you that your life is going to be better if you just break this commandment. You'll get all sorts of riches. Well, who do we see this happening to? Yahushua. The top sinner tempted Yahushua and said, if you do this, I'll give you all kinds of riches. Isn't that what happened? Hashatan said, come and do this, Yahushua. I'll give you all these riches, man. I'll give you everything that you need, you want. Just come and break the commandments. I'll give you all the kingdoms of the world. This is what Hashatan told Yahushua. But Yahushua said, nah, man should not live by bread alone. Yahushua said, no, we got to follow the Most High, keep his commandments. Yahushua had all these different answers to him. He had all these different answers. Go ahead.
Cast in thy lot among us. Cast in thy lot among us. Let us all have one purse.
Let us work together. Let's build up this school. That's what a lot of people do. Let's go and talk evil and bad to people. Let's go and talk rough and hard to our brothers who we're supposed to be loving in the fruits of the Spirit. The Most High says to teach in meekness. And you must not be a brawler. So what does that mean, don't be a brawler? Does that mean don't be a brawler? Brawler means don't get out there, you're just going to be ready to fight and beat up everybody when you're out there in the streets. So what does it mean? Does it mean don't be a brawler but still go talk junk to everybody and make them want to punch you in your face? No. Because you shouldn't talk no trash that you can't back up. And the Most High says don't be out there brawling. So that means your words have to be what? Filled with love when you talk to people. And then if somebody wants to come upon you and they want some static, you know, they want some static, they want some beef, and that's the only way the situation is going to get resolved, you know, you might have to knock somebody out. TKO. Or straight up KO. On the ground counting. But that's not what we start at. That's a reaction to aggression against us. Physical harm and physical threat, not this words. My words are pure. My words are clean. My words are filled with love. So when you come with something else, I know that I'm in the right if I have to put my hands on you because you're trying to do something evil and say something evil against me. You see? So cast in your lot of money, man. Let's walk out this evil together. Let's do this evil thing against the Torah together. Let's form this group. Let's get on this call. Let's get together, have lunch, and let's talk, and let's say evil things about people. Yahweh said don't do that. That's foolishness. So first, the scripture is telling you the first thing when you're dealing with wisdom is to separate yourself from people. Everybody is not supposed to be in your life close. Everybody is not supposed to have a front row seat to what's happening in your life, to your news for the day. Everybody does not have a front row seat to your life. All right? Everybody doesn't deserve that. So stop giving everybody a front row seat to everything you're doing. Stop telling everybody everything about everything. And start talking to wisdom. Start talking to Yahweh and Yahweh Shai. Start talking to your head, your family, to solve all of these different issues that you feel like you may want to talk to somebody else about that can give you no words of wisdom from Yahweh. That's not walking in wisdom. Not walking in the wisdom of Yahweh. Go ahead.
My son,
go ahead.
walk not thou in the way with them.
Don't walk that direction. Read.
Refrain thy foot from their path.
Don't even go down that path. Stay on a whole different direction. Read.
For their feet run to evil.
Beware of people that always want to go and do something wrong, say something mean, say something bad about people. Read.
And make haste to shed blood.
To shed blood. Always want to end a person's life. Draw a person away from life back into death. But yeah, you know, so-and-so trying to keep the commandments now. You know, so-and-so is trying to do right. Yeah, but you know his shoes always raggedy, right? See, that's death. That's your foot running to blood. That's your foot running to something evil and bad against somebody. Read.
Surely in vain the net is spread.
Meaning what? You got to always be paying attention to what's going on around you. It says surely in vain what?
The net is spread.
The net is spread in the what?
The sight of any bird.
So if you're a bird and you see somebody laying a trap for you, what you going to do? You're going to go around that trap. So once wisdom, so the whole parable that we're seeing right here is for you to stay away from people and situations that's going to have you trapped up in thoughts and actions that are contrary to what Yahweh wants us. Everybody see that? Mm-hmm. So if you're a bird, nobody can lay a trap in front of you and you not see it. Because you're looking at what? You're looking in the flesh or you're looking in the spirit? You're looking in the spirit. You're looking in the spirit. So now you as a human being serving Yahweh, when you see somebody coming around and you see something happening that you know is going to hurt your spirit, it's going to put you in a place where you don't want to be, where you shouldn't be, where you don't need to be. What did it say? That trap is being set for you, so pay attention. So these are the entry levels that Solomon is telling us about with wisdom. He said, first, we deal with wisdom. You got some inside cleaning you got to do. We dealing with wisdom. You got some inside cleaning that has to be done. So take care of that inside cleaning first. That's what Solomon is saying. Through the spirit of wisdom. Take care of that cleaning first. That's what you have to do first. All right, go ahead.
And they lay wait for their own blood.
Mm-hmm.
They look privily for their own lives.
Meaning what? They're going to reap what they sowed. Read.
So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain.
The ways of everyone that wants to gain people, gain members, you want to gain tithes, want to gain offering, you want to gain supporters, you want to gain sponsors, you want to gain, what's the other one? You want to gain GoFundMe, right? You want to gain this. You want to gain. You gain. All you want to do is gain stuff from other people. What do you give it to other people? Because some of you want to gain stuff from other people, but you're also getting more than you could ever gain in return from that. And some of you giving people nothing, but yo, support me, I'm doing this, I'm trying to do that. But what are you trying to do for the Most High? What are you really trying to gain from the Most High? Or is it just a physical person you have to go through to try to gain the things that you want? So it says what? It says try to gain. See, every proverb is telling you the opposite of what it's saying too. Read that again.
So are the ways of everyone that is greedy of gain.
So a person who's not greedy of gain, a person that doesn't care about gaining, their feet are going to be slow to run to evil. Their feet are going to not make haste to shed blood. Their feet are going to see the trap that's being set for them. And they say, no, I'm not going over there. I'm not going to go there. Why? Because that's a trap laid by Hashatan. That's a trap laid by the enemy. To just lure you into it. Lure you in. That's why they call it a what? You get in there, next thing you know, you in there and you stuck in there. That's why I call it a what? A trap house. You get in there, right? Everybody's in there smoking and getting high. Ain't a crack house, no one else, a trap house. Right? So you get trapped in there. So everybody that's greedy of gain, this is how their spirit is. They want to entice you. They want attention and focus on themselves. But when you lose that desire to have yourself exalted, you lose that desire to gain, and you focus on my spirit toward the Most High, obeying Him, and how can I help my brothers and sisters in the spirit of Yahweh Shah HaMashiach, then we walk in more in wisdom, in Chakma. Go ahead. Verse what?
Verse 19.
Verse 19. Go ahead.
Which taketh away the life of the owners thereof.
The life of the owners. So through your action, you take away the life of other people. So this is what we need to learn when we're dealing with wisdom. When we first deal with wisdom, Solomon says, okay, here's the benefits of wisdom. Here's what it's for. This is how you use it. Now, stay away from all that negativity. Stay away from things that you shouldn't be doing. Go ahead.
Wisdom crieth without.
Now, he's saying stay away from this. Now, once you stay away from these things, right? Once you get your spirit and your mind set up, all right? Once your spirit and your mind are set up, Chicago. Once everything is set up to walk in obedience to the Most High. Read that again.
Wisdom crieth without.
Now you can hear wisdom. But first, what did we go through first? What did we have to do before wisdom cried out? What did Solomon tell us before wisdom cried out? What happened? What happened first? Anybody? Huh? Oh, what did we have to do before wisdom started to cry out? What happened first? All the things we just read about, the most recent verses, what's going on? We avoiding the sinners. We avoiding situations and people and thoughts that would lead us to break the commandments. That's what happens first. And what does Yahweh call this? Well, the avoidance of it. Once you never would have made it. Right? That's being born again. Now you're a new creature. Now when you become a new creature, now what happens after you become that new creature? Well, you're born again, and you become a new creature now.
All things are new, all things are past.
So now your temptations aren't as great. Your temptations are, but when you see your spirit say, man, I really, really, really want to do this, sometimes you might fail. But when you fail, you got to get up, repent, and do it again. Keep going forward. People always say, man, I'm not ready to deal. No, you're always ready to deal with the Most High. I'm not ready to deal with the Most High yet. You say, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's just an evil heart. That's just a heart that does not want to repent. So I don't want to play with God. I don't want to play with God, man. Now you're already playing with the Most High because you know to do right. You think the Most High is going to give you some kind of extra credit? Oh, you was only doing evil, but then try to do righteous, so I'm going to give you special favor now. What kind of mentality is that? Okay? So it said, wisdom cries without. Read.
She uttereth her voice in the streets.
She cries in the streets, uttering her voice. So every time around, we're walking up and down the street. Anywhere you go to, you have an opportunity to hear and to do what wisdom is saying. I read.
She crieth in the chief place of concourse.
She cried in the chief place of the concourse. The main things where people are coming together at. The main places of concourse. Where all the activity is. Hustle and bustle. Movement. Shopping. Talking. Traveling. Bumping into each other. So wisdom is crying here. In front of many witnesses, wisdom is crying right there. She's crying out where everybody's at now. She done told you to make sure your spirit and your mind is right. But then when she's crying at these chief places of concourse, that's where you have to go to either be her maiden, her servant, or to exercise her, to walk in her. But first you have to do what? Separate yourself. You have to separate. I didn't want to go to Proverbs 28, but go there real quick. Not 28, but 18. I'll go to it. You don't have to worry about it. Proverbs 18. Through desire, a man having separated himself, seeketh and intermeddleth with all wisdom. See, when we first come into wisdom, we have to separate ourselves from our wife, maybe from our husband even, who knows, from our children, from our daily routine. We got to say, this is what I'm going to do. So you're not just separating yourself from your friends or from people you know that's trying to entice you to do wrong. You're also listening for wisdom. And then you're preparing your own spirit. All right? Because now you're learning what it means to be by yourself, to be only with wisdom, to only rely on her. Your new long-lost sister, wisdom your sister, and understanding is your kinswoman. Now you're learning how to deal with these two new females in your life, wisdom and understanding. Okay? Wisdom and understanding. All right? Let's go.
In the openings of the gates, in the city she uttered her words, saying, how long, ye simple ones, will you love simplicity?
So wisdom is saying, how long will you just keep things on a low level? And everybody around here thinks that they're so high, but they're on such a low basic level that they had to go and create a new way to do it because this was too difficult. The Makwara'a, aka Tanakh, was such a difficult path. They had to say, okay, you write what you think about it, and I'll write what I think about it, and then we'll figure out which opinion is better, and I'll follow him, and you follow him. But Yahweh just said, my yoke is easy and my burden is light. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. Do this, do that. That's it. Oh, no, that's too simple. Yeah. They're like, oh, it's such a high level. No, it's basic. It's basic. All right, go ahead.
And the scorners delight in their scorning.
Scorners delight in their scorning. They want to reject. They want to push away. They don't want to adhere to. They want to talk against these words. That's their delight. That's the agency that Hashatan is managing them in, and they're going to reap what they sow. So don't deal with the scorners. Oh, you're not this, you're not that. That's wrong. What it says right here, I have to do it this way. All right, well, where's your tzitzis, man? Where's your black jacket, bro? Where your black socks? Where your black leather shoes? Where's your black hat? Where your white button-up shirt? Where is it? Where's your curly locks? Where's all that stuff at? Scorners. Oh, this ain't the new moon? Oh, this ain't how you're supposed to keep the Sabbath? No, the Sabbath is on Wednesday this week. No, we don't do that. We don't do that. Go ahead.
And fools hate knowledge.
Fools hate knowledge. The knowledge of this. Not just any old knowledge, but the knowledge that's in here. Go ahead.
Turn you at my reproof. Behold.
Turn at my what? Reproof. So wisdom is going to correct you in your spirit. Wisdom is going to say, don't do this. Wisdom is going to say, this should be done this way. That's what wisdom is going to say. This should be done this way. That's what wisdom is going to say to you. She's going to reprove you, meaning correct you. As you're coming into keeping the commandments, as you're coming into the law of the Most High, wisdom is going to say, this needs to be done. This is how it must be done. And then you actually do it. You have to do it. It might not even be in the law. It might not be something that's a specific, strict commandment. Wisdom may say, stop going outside with your shirt off. Because your muscles are too big. Your chest is too beautiful. You're going to make married women lust after you. Don't do that anymore. What's not a commandment was not the commandments talking anymore. It's now it's wisdom talking to you. Did the Most High say don't look upon a beautiful woman at all? Did he ever say that? Did wisdom say that? Wisdom said it, not Yahweh through his commandments. Yahweh said it through wisdom. All right? So now we're dealing with wisdom. Scripture says you separate yourself to move to a different level of holiness. So you become a different level because we're already a holy people. And we're made sanctified through Yahushua and through the commandments. And then once we walk in wisdom, now we move to a different level of holiness that we're not used to. That requires a lot more. And that's why Solomon said, the law of your mother. Moses is a man, all right? Yahushua is masculine. Wisdom, Yahweh is masculine. Where's the woman coming at? It comes through wisdom. Okay, go ahead.
Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you.
So wisdom will make her words known to you. She's going to pour her spirit on you. So if she pours out her spirit on you, how are you going to be acting? Like wisdom. The more she gives you, the more you walk and the more you demonstrate wisdom. But it's a process that you have to go through, and it's going to be a lot of hard work. She's going to afflict you. And this is just the introduction into wisdom, and it gets different directions into wisdom in the book of Proverbs. But then after you go to Proverbs, then you go and read you look at the wisdom of Solomon. And that gives us a big, deep understanding of wisdom. And then once you do that, now you move into different parts of Ecclesiasticus to see different counsels. And then that's when you get your little computer, and you start to cut and paste all the counsel of the Most High into different categories. Okay? Go ahead.
Because I have called, and ye refused. I have stretched out my hand, and no man regarded.
So now wisdom is saying, I called you, but you didn't want to listen to what I had to say. You refused to do what I said. You had your own way. And that's why it's hard for people to deal with wisdom. Because she requires so much attention. She requires so much compliance. Go ahead.
But ye have set not at naught all my counsel, and with none of my reproof. I also...
So you didn't want to listen to what wisdom said to do. You didn't read the Proverbs and put the Proverbs into practice. You didn't do that. So what's going to happen now? Go ahead.
I also will laugh at your calamity.
Now wisdom is going to laugh at you. Wisdom is going to laugh at you now. Now wisdom is going to get like facetious towards you. Mean sarcasm. Laughing at you. When? Read.
I will mock when your fear comes.
When your fear comes, wisdom's going to laugh at you. She's laughing. She's going to laugh when your fear comes. Because wisdom is going to bring your fear upon you when you don't do what she said. She's going to bring your fears upon you. And then she's going to laugh at you. She's not going to protect you from your fears. All right, go ahead.
When your fear cometh as desolation.
Now we see the consequences of not getting your soul right when your sinners and your friends are trying to entice you. Now we see what happens when you don't. This is the other side of that coin. Read.
And your destruction cometh as a whirlwind.
Your fear is going to go upon you, and destruction is going to come upon you as a whirlwind. Whirlwind meaning what? You won't be able to escape it. No matter how much you try, no matter how hard, you won't be able to escape the desolation and the destruction that's going to come from Yahweh as a whirlwind. There'll be no escape. Read.
When distress and anguish cometh upon you.
Distress and anguish are going to come up. You're going to be stressed out. Angry. Oh my God, what am I going to do? In your spirit, maybe not on the outside, but in your spirit, this is what's going to be happening internally to you. Because your spirit's not right with the Most High. And because you had a chance to do the right thing that He told you to do, Zaqan, but then you said, no, I'm not going to do that. Soft answer. Now I'm gonna get confrontational with him. I'm gonna cuss him out. I don't know who you think he's gonna cuss out. I don't know who you think he's talking to. He ain't talking to me like that. You know. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, you too. Alright? So you going to the same level that you're trying to come from. You're going to the same level that you're trying to rise up from. So that wisdom said, okay, he refused my counsel. He keeps not giving soft answer. He keeps giving out grievous words. He keeps not doing what I'm saying to do. Get him. Punish him now. I read.
Then they shall call upon me, but I will not
Then
answer.
shall they call upon me. Go ahead.
But I will not answer.
Wisdom is not going to answer. So now we see that wisdom is working through the Most High, Yahweh. So now you're going to call to Yahweh in the name of Yahushua to do X, Y, Z for you. And now wisdom's like, nah, I'm not doing that. I'm not helping you with that. No. Read.
They shall seek me early.
Now they're going to say, okay, well, once the Most High starts to bring that fire on you, a lot of people honestly won't even go through this phase. You know why? Because they're not even seeking wisdom. A lot of people won't even go through this phase. That's why they think everything is all right. And that's why there's so much discrepancies on beliefs. Nobody's going through wisdom. And that's why everything's okay in everybody's life. That shows you that how can everybody not be going through bad things and have so many different beliefs and everybody says that they're right? Well, who's wisdom punishing? Seems like nobody. That's because nobody's seeking her. Everybody's seeking an understanding of different verses and to teach that understanding that they have from these verses. Go ahead.
But they shall not find me.
Mm-hmm.
For they that hated knowledge.
Read that again.
but they shall not find me.
Mm-hmm.
For they that hated knowledge.
For that
they hated knowledge.
For people hated the knowledge of the Most High. They hated the knowledge that Yahweh gave us. They hated the knowledge. That's why they rejected. They reject the knowledge. But that doesn't charge. You gotta get the battery.
It's not key.
You trying to charge the battery?
You charge the thingy.
That doesn't charge. The battery is the other one. In the back part, you flip the little lever and let it up. That's just your data.
This is not working. It's not coming on.
That works.
The light is not coming on.
What's in there for it to come on? There's nothing in there for it to say what's green or what's red. You got to put something in there to say what's green or what's red. If there's nothing in there, it's going to give you no light. But that doesn't charge though. That's just for your. That has no energy in it. That's like a floppy disk. All right, so they hated knowledge. I mean, they said, I don't want to hear that knowledge. I don't want that. Oh, don't tell me that because I'm gonna be responsible for it now. How much more how much more wicked things can you say? Don't tell me that because then I'm gonna be responsible for it. I want to know how to serve the Most High more. I don't know how to be more obedient to Him. I want to stay exactly where I am now. I'm happy being a sinner. I'm happy being rebellious against the commandments. I'm happy turning my back to the God of Israel. I'm happy not serving Yahweh. Bashem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai. It makes me happy. But that's evil. That's wicked. Alright? So the Most High said what? They hated knowledge. Naida. They hated knowledge. Read.
And did not choose the fear of Yahweh.
Back to verse 7. See, it comes right back around now. You had your chance in verse 7. The fear of Yahweh is the beginning of knowledge. So you didn't want to obey Him. You didn't want to fear Him. You didn't choose the fear of the Most High. Bam, now all this stuff is going to come upon you. And the more you get exposed to wisdom, the more the Most High is going to break you down. The more Yahweh is going to break you down. Read.
They would none of my counsel.
They would none of my counsel, meaning they didn't want to listen to the commandments. They didn't want to listen to what Yahweh said to do. Read.
They despised all my reproof.
Meaning, if you break one, if you despise one part of what Yahweh said, you despise it all. Now this is what James means when he says, if you break the commandment, you broke them all. Read.
Therefore shall they eat of the fruit of their own way.
And that's why I say a lot of these brothers and sisters out here, what they're doing is based on what they can do. It ain't based on Yahweh's doing this, Yahweh's doing that, and Yahweh's waking everybody up. Why is Yahweh waking everybody up and making them 2 times, 10 times more the child of hell? What's He waking them up for? Destruction? Yeah. We're going to applaud for that? Oh man, this guy was in a coma. He just woke up from a coma. And I pushed him in front of the bus. You're not going to say that. You're going to say this guy was in a coma and I walked him across the street safely. And he got hit by no car. And he went on to lead a healthy life on his own. In obedience to the laws and the commandments of the Most High. How big this is, how big that is. Everybody basing things on numbers. When it's not the numbers, it's the obedience, it's the spirit of Yahweh. It's the path that you're walking on in obedience to the commandments. That's what matters. So they despise the counsel of the Most High. Then they're going to eat the fruit of their ways and what?
And be filled with their own devices.
Not the Most High is doing it.
And be filled with their own devices.
Their own devices. You see? They're going to get filled with their own devices now. So a lot of these things you see people doing, oh, they got so much success, they're so great, they have all these people following them, like over here. Doesn't mean that they're right. It just means that they're good at what they're doing. That's it. Has nothing to do with the judgment day. Has nothing to do with the Most High's righteousness at the end of this age. Okay? Read.
For the turning away of the simple shall slay them.
Your own rebellion against the laws and the commandments of the Most High is going to be what gets you killed. That's it. The turning away of the simple shall slay them. So your own evil is going to be what destroys you. Not the white man. Right? Not the other person beside you. Not the person that taught you. But your turning away is going to be what destroys you. Because what are you planting when you turn away? You're planting death. When you turn away from the commandments of the Most High, you're planting death. So death is going to be what comes to get you. So you got to reap what you sow, and you got to sow what you want to reap. If you sow obedience and life, that's what's going to come out the ground. If you sow disobedience and death, that's going to come back around. But guess who it belongs to? You. It's yours. So you have to be careful of your actions and what you do when you decide you're going to walk in Yahweh and obey the commandments of Yahweh. Because there's always a spirit around you waiting to bring you down or to take you higher. The Most High has his Mala'akim, the Malakim, always surrounding us. That's what Scripture says. He gives his angels charge over us. That's why we say, Sabab now surround us with good and righteous spirits and protect us from evil and Satan's spirits. We always want to be surrounded by good and righteous spirits, surrounded by chakma, surrounded by the spirit of obedience, surrounded by the spirits of the 7 pillars of wisdom, and that's our refuge. That's our refuge. That's how we don't get destroyed, because the turning away of the simple shall slay them. Meaning when you turn away from knowing the good thing, knowing the right thing, you turn toward what? You turn toward the wrong thing. And you relax in your calmness. You relax in your ignorance, your rebellion against the Most High. You relax. The Most High Yahweh said that's going to get you killed. All right, go ahead.
And the prosperity of fools shall destroy them.
Oh, because I have prosperity as people see. The prosperity means stuff is growing. It looks like there's growth. It looks like there's life. But what's at the root? What's at the root of what you're doing? So the prosperity of fools shall destroy them. Why? Because they're being distracted by what they see with their eyes. Their eye is distracting them. This physical world is distracting them. Yahweh had 12 main men to walk with him. 12. As good of a teacher, as good of a healer he was, there were 12 men that walked with him. Then there was about, they say 70, and some Greek versions say 72. Other disciples that were going out different. He was a busy man. But out of all the people on the planet Earth, that was the only ones. Those were the only ones that wanted to really follow him. Out of all those people, only a few. Everybody else was like a fool. But then years later, people started to believe, so you know what? This is the Son of the Most High. We do have to walk in what he said. We do have to do what he said to do. Yeah, we have to. Right? So it says that the prosperity of fools shall destroy them, because a fool is going against the commandments of the Most High. He thinks that his way is a good way to go. And now he's prospering. He has a big building. He has a big school. He's got 100 million followers on YouTube. He's on YouTube. He's on Snapchat. He's on Instagram, right? He's on Facebook. He's on all the, he got an old school crew following him on Kick even. Right? He on Black Planet, right? We got Black Planet people following him too. You got people from every social media app. 100 million followers everywhere. MySpace followers. We got followers on the AOL community. Right? See that follows on the hackers billboard. You got people following with his daily message coming through the sky pager. All these things are going on. But then what are you teaching about the Torah and wisdom? And this is the gulf between Israel and Israel. Some of us talk about wisdom, do wisdom. Some of us talk about wisdom, don't do wisdom. Some of us don't talk about wisdom. There's only two sides. Those that are walking in wisdom and those that are not. There's not 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sides. Now you can be in the light of obedience to the Torah and still not be in wisdom, because wisdom is at its first level is the Torah. The Torah comes out of wisdom. Okay? The Torah comes out of wisdom. The Torah comes out of wisdom. So Torah, because the wisdom goes through everything by reason of her purity, is what the scriptures tell us. By reason of her purity, she goes through everything. Okay? Now, we get into the last verse. Go ahead.
But whoso hearkeneth unto me,
whoever listens unto wisdom. How do you listen to wisdom? You listen by reading these words, processing them in your spirit. Go ahead.
Shall dwell safely, and shall be quiet from fear of evil.
Be free from evil.
From fear of evil.
No bad stuff is ever going to happen to you again.
And shall be quiet from fear of evil.
It says you're going to be quiet from the fear of evil. So evil might be there, but I'm not afraid. Evil's going to be there maybe. Evil may be there, but you're not going to be afraid. You're not going to be afraid. All right, so now, as we look at these verses, now you go back and say, what is the instruction? And that's going to be another lesson. But whoso hearkens to me shall dwell safely. So if you want to dwell that safety in your spirit, you want to dwell calm in your spirit, listen unto wisdom and do what she says to do. So what's the instruction? The instruction is listen to wisdom. The instruction is plain. Whoever listens to wisdom is going to dwell safely. That's the instruction. What's the understanding? The understanding is, if I listen to what wisdom is telling me to do, that I will not get harmed in my spirit. Because we're not talking about the flesh, we're talking about the spirit. Whenever the Most High say, your time is up, time is up. Did not the Most High love David and Moses and Aaron? Did not all of them have their time expire? So it says what? Whoever hearkens to me shall dwell safely. That's the understanding is, if I do what the counsel of wisdom says to do, if I do what wisdom says to do, I'm going to dwell safely. What's the understanding now? The discretion. What's the mazamah? What's the plan to fulfill this mitzvah of chakmah? What is it? Heart to wisdom, go safely. Okay. Go safely. If I'm going on an airplane, do I need a helmet? If I'm going to ride a bike, do I need a flotation device under my seat? No. If I'm going to go on roller skates, do I need to make sure that the Tupperware is sealed safely? It's closed. No, I don't. No, I don't. You see? So, if I'm going to be safe, Izadia, I got to make sure I got the right safety equipment to be safe with. Meaning what? I have to know what proverb applies to this situation. So that's my plan. That's my zamah. I have to know what proverb applies to this situation. I, as a human being with eyes and a brain, have to go in here and say, you know what? I have a problem in this area. Let me go into the Proverbs and see how I solve this problem what Yahweh and wisdom are telling me to do, and I have to do that. So that's the mazamah. That's the plan for this particular proverb. So we're at the third pillar. What pillar comes next after discretion? Equity, which in Hebrew is what? Ma yasharim. Equity is next. Ma yasharim, meaning that which is upright. All right, that which, what's the upright thing to do in this situation now? Ma yasharim. Okay, so I got to go through for the situation. Okay, now, ma yasharim, against that which is the uprightness of it, the balance of everything. So I'm looking at the full picture of everything to see how do I take this, how do I uprightly apply what I see in this proverb of getting, of listening and seeing what wisdom is saying, Zayatan. How do I do that? Now, after I understand that, after I get from Mazamah, now I'll go into Tzadak, or Zadik, or righteousness. Is it righteous to do this? What's the opposite spectrum of this now? Because once you see the opposite, you can weigh how good your angle is. Once you see the contrast to it. Right? And then you can make a conscious decision, you know what? If I say a soft answer turns away wrath, what's the contrast to that? I'm going to yell at that person, cuss him out, and make the situation even worse. So what am I going to do? What's the Holy Spirit, Rakah Kodash, going to lead me to do? So if people call Rakah Kodash is the agent working with wisdom, but it's much more unforgiving than wisdom. Much more unforgiving. Because that's the only thing Yahweh said, if you blaspheme this, you're done. You're done. Okay? And we don't have to worry about that right now because nobody's seen the Holy Spirit working. When you saw that this man got resurrected from the dead in the grave, and you saw the Holy Spirit working through Peter and them to do this thing, and you said, oh no, that's not, I don't care about that. That's blasphemy against the Holy Spirit. Man. You can talk against the Most High and Yahweh, he said it. Yahweh says that everything should be forgiven except for this one thing right here. You see? So now what we see is now you say, okay, what is the contrast of what I want to do, of this proverb I'm trying to apply? That's the fifth pillar, tzadak, or righteousness. It's crooked. And we put it straight. And then you have the sixth one is what? What's the sixth pillar? It's judgment. Mashapat. That's not saying, this is what I need to do, this is how I need to do it, this is how I'm going to apply this situation, this proverb. That's the sixth pillar of wisdom. From all these things we just read about. And then once we get there, we say, you know what? Doggone it, I'm going to do it. Once you did it, walk into wisdom. Now you're walking in wisdom when you actually do it. But if you don't do it, guess what you've done? You've refused her counsel. That's why wisdom is very, very, very sensitive. Because once she tells you to do something and you don't do it, she says, away with you. Once she says, give us all an answer, you say, no, I'm going to yell. Now she'll walk at you in a crooked way when you learn it. But once you know better, you don't do better, then it's a major sin. He that knows to do good and doeth it not, to him it is sin. You see that? So then it's a sinful thing that we're doing. So we have to do these things in righteousness. And we have to do it from our heart. So these are the principles of wisdom that we have to start out from. These are the principles of wisdom that Solomon is teaching us. And once we understand these principles, we keep moving further and further. Proverbs 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 to 31. Now we grow in wisdom. So now we see about our mouth, our tongue, our feet, what we speak and what we say. Let us swallow them alive. Let us take what we know that they have as a benefit, and let's take it for ourselves and swallow them alive and bring them down to the grave. In other words, let me suck the positive energy off of you, and I'm going to feed you with my negative energy. And that's going to bring your spirit down, because that's my job, is to bring you down. Now, wisdom says no. Wisdom says turn that around and plant life. And we're going to see that in verse 3. Using wisdom as a tree of life to bring life to any situation, based on what the proverbs say. Okay, so any questions or comments or anything about that, about Chakma? Any?
No.
Yeah? What you got? Okay, so that's it, I guess. You cool, these audio? All right, so remember now, wisdom is at the chief places of concourse, waiting. All right.
There's a question about to come up.
All right, Ariasha, get that? Read that question.
It hasn't come up yet.
The question hasn't come yet.
Okay. The question or comment?
So I have a question.
From who's it from, Ariasha?
Isaiah Yasharahla.
Hmm?
Isaiah Yasharahla.
Where's he at? Okay, I'll tell you. They come up yet? Okay, what's your question?
When it says that shall adorn your head with grace.
Well, yeah. For they shall be an ornament of grace unto thy head.
So what does that look like? What does grace from somebody look like? Because we know grace from Yahweh is
Well,
kind of like long-suffering.
she puts it on your head, so you're like a beacon to other people. And you have it. She
like
gives
being
it to you.
patient and long-suffering?
Yeah. And also somebody done something wrong to you, like, you know, it's almost like a different level of mercy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Flipping out and getting mad.
Yeah.
Okay.
So grace and mercy are really like close relatives.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? But yeah. It's like the divisions and almost like they don't deserve it. It's almost like a different level of mercy. But you can grab a hold of it. You can still be holding on them. You know what I'm saying? So or kana, which is grace, or kanan, which is grace, is that fence and then two fish. So like two totally opposite things. One is a fence and one is a fish. There's another fish.
So it's almost like a protector, like you're protecting someone despite them doing wrong to you by you reacting to certain
Well, you're
ways.
planting life in them. Because when you react to people, you plant that thing in them.
Mm-hmm.
So when you respond with kindness and patience and that grace, it's an ornament on your head, but you planting it in people.
Okay.
So you're protecting them in a sense, but you actually planting that inside them if their spirit can receive it.
Okay.
But if their spirit receives it or not, you still get favor and credit from the Most High for doing that. Just like Yahweh, everybody rejected him, but look at us now. People still rejected him.
No, I was just asking that because the fence kind of.
Okay.
The kind
Yeah. And then it's a ladder also.
okay.
It's a ladder. It can be sideways like a fence. It can be long like a fence, or it can be narrow like the ladder. And the different rungs and divisions, and they're going up and down. So there's variations in it. Because you see going up and down in that first level, the ket or the kayath, it goes up, it goes down. There's chambers, and there's different sides of it. So that's the first part of grace. And after that, we have the fish or the nawan, which is the movement, also hard to get a hold of, but can also move around and flourish inside of nourishment, like the fish does, inside of the water that sustains everybody in the world, everything in the world. It relies on water, or the hydrogen and the oxygen in some form or another. Right then after that, we got the nun, the other nun, which is the same thing as the fish beholding in the water. So it's like a redundancy of it. So that nourishing, that water, you know, mercy is like, I think mercy is like, okay, you know what? We're not gonna trip on you. That's all. You don't even worry about it, man. You know, just go. You had, you know, speeding, you're going 90 in a 15 zone. Don't do it again. Grace is, you know, look, here's another way over here. You can go 75 up there. Plus this got speed bumps back here. You know, go this way. It's gonna be a lot better for you. Still drive. Speed limit 70. If you get caught, get a ticket. Going over 70, it's 90, 20 degrees, 20 miles over. Back here, you get caught doing that. So grace is more like nourishing, and grace is more nourishing. Grace kind of gives you more of the big picture, and grace kind of gives you more of the nourishing on how to deal with this and other types of situations. And we can see that from Canaan, what it means. And then from the feminine aspect, you don't have as much nourishing, but you have the ha'ah, which is the last, which means to behold. After that nourishing and the fish and the waters, then you have behold, so it kind of stops right there. So it's the female is a less of a degree of grace than the male. The male is more of a degree of grace because we have two nawans. With the female nawan, we never behold it. It's always this. With the male nawan, we never behold it. The next letter is kanan. The last letter is nun in the one, not the ha'ah. So it kind of, you know what I'm saying? All right. What was your question?
The lady that pulled on Moses' garment, did she suck virginess out of him?
Yeah, he said, I perceive that virtue has gone from me. So he said that virtue had left from out of. He said that virtue had left from out of his body. Who's this from?
It was from the place where.
Okay, y'all went down the street right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Going to get some cream.
Okay.
Nah.
Is that because she made him unclean? Or tomorrow?
It's funny because she was healed, so yeah, he was never really unclean because anybody that touched him or came in contact with, they was healed. Just like when he raised, when he went to, when Lazarus happened, he just bam, he alive. So the virtue left him because he felt that healing power in him, leaving him and going to her.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? It's almost like he felt that female on her cycle drain energy from his body, which kind of gives us an insight into Yahweh saying, keep things different, keep things separate. Because there is an energy transference that doesn't happen under normal circumstances. He never said that with no other woman. You know what I'm saying? Just like when he raised from the dead, the women and the disciples, right, wanted to touch him. He said, I have not ascended to my Father. Yeah, I said it was different. Isn't which one?
Him not transcending to his father is different from what happened with the woman. It's a different.
But he still said, touch me not. That's the similarity. I'm not looking at. He said, don't touch. The woman touched him, and then he told everybody else when he resurrected, don't touch me.
Because he would have made him talk.
I don't know. I understand your last comment of being good.
No, I'm fine with the explanation. That's what I mean by
Okay.
That's what that means.
Oh. Okay.
The question showed up now.
Okay. What's the question?
It says Sirach 1, chapter 1, verse 4 through 20. And then
That's not a question.
14 through 20.
What about it?
And then a question mark. And then he says, for 14 it says, created with the faithful in the womb.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's a select few people that the Most High created wisdom with them before they were born, like He did for Jeremiah. He said, "Before I made thee in the womb, I knew thee." So there's a select people that have wisdom that's been walking with them from the time they were in their mother's womb.
The scripture isn't universal?
Hmm?
That Jeremiah scripture is not universal, that just was specifically for Jeremiah only?
Yeah, I think it's universal. It is universal. He knew everybody before. How can he not know you before? But on a different level of Kakma was created with certain people from the womb. So Kakma said, okay, this person is designated for this particular task.
That makes it different.
You know. In Sirach 14 through the fear of Yahweh is the beginning of wisdom. It's created with the faithful from the womb. He has built an everlasting foundation. She has built an everlasting foundation with men, and she shall continue with their seed. Okay? To fear Yahweh is the fullness of wisdom, and filleth men with her fruits. She filleth all their houses with great desirable, with things desirable, and the garners with her increase. The fear of Yahweh is a crown of wisdom, making peace and perfect health to flourish, both which are the gifts of Yahweh, and it enlargeth their rejoicing that love him. Wisdom raineth down skill and knowledge of understanding, and exalteth them to honor that hold her fast. The root of wisdom is to fear Yahweh, and the branches thereof are long life. So when we obey and walk in obedience to Yahweh, keep those greatest two commandments, we learn how to do the rest. That's the beginning of wisdom. Walking in wisdom was inside of us when we were in our womb, some of us, not all of us. That's why some of us have a harder way to getting in and walking in wisdom. And some of us say, okay, this is easy. I see what it says to do. I'm going to walk in that. Okay? But the foundation of wisdom is going to stay with us forever. All right? And when we pass on, during the time that this was written, when that man died, his children had the same, his children inherited that wisdom. When that man died, his children inherited the wisdom after him. So it was a constant nurture. And of course, all this happened until we went into all these different captivities and diasporas, and they split up our families. So when they split up our family in slavery, it wasn't just so we wouldn't know our last name. It was to break down that family unit. What are you trying to break down the family unit? What's wrong with keeping these people together? They was working. What's wrong with them? Because that energy, because that submission and respect and obedience to where you came from and distaste for where you are in captivity could build up and grow and lead to things that the Gentiles did not want to deal with. So he said, you over here, you over there. All right? So when we fear Yahweh, that's the basic level of fulfilling wisdom. We see that in the book of Deuteronomy. And if you look, and you don't got to go there, but if you look in Deuteronomy, chapter 4, verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nation. So we keep and do wisdom. We'll keep and do the commandments. That's the level of wisdom that we attain to in the sight of all the other nations. When we actually do and keep it. His commandments, not the Mishnah or Gemara, but his actual commandments in the book. All right? So then it says what? It says that when you fear Yahweh, all right, that's the fullness of wisdom, and then wisdom is going to fill you with her fruits, the pillars of wisdom, the proverbs, the results that you're supposed to get from doing different things once we look at wisdom. Now she's going to fill your house, your spiritual house first, with things that others desire, which goes into that crown of grace that people look at and say, oh, I want some of that grace too. So now when people come and deal and set, and fellowship with you, they see those things and they want those things that are desirable unto their spirits to nourish them. They ain't talking about, frosted flakes or, Frosted Flakes or fresh goat cheese. It's talking about these are things that people see and they want to have a piece of what you have righteously. All right? Now, when we fear Yahweh, now we've gotten to the first level. We have a crown of wisdom on our heads now. So now we can be recognized and seen as people that have that level of wisdom, especially when it goes beyond where like these people here are. You know, these people here know that they're stuck in the 1800s. They know it. They know they're not first century. They know they're not second century. For the most part, they reject the Torah to keep the commandments and the traditions of men, to walk in the Mishnah, to walk in the Talmud, to walk in the Gemara. For the most part. Not the majority of them is saying, hey, you guys are the Israelites. If you read the Torah, you'll see who the Israelites are. If you read the Torah, it tells you who the Israelites are. Even the guy said that the rabbis, so-called rabbis, don't deny that we are the Israelites. Remember he said that? He said they don't deny that fact. But he said, but what significance is it? What does it mean? What does it mean to be Hasidic then? Because that don't mean nothing either, right? Everything means something until it comes to us. Now, what's the significance of it?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Almost like it doesn't matter what color your house shower was.
Yeah.
Or someone.
But you got to read this one and read this one, read that one. Okay? So the fear of Yahweh give that crown, that recognition that people recognize and see. Okay, Torah, wisdom. Okay? Now when you walk in the wisdom, Chakma, the way that we should, what does she do? She starts to heal your body. Wisdom starts to heal your body. Once she starts to heal your body, she causes things in your body that need to be healed to flourish, to grow out, to become good, to become well. So that's one of the keys of good physical health is walking in wisdom. All right? And after that, you know, we walking in wisdom, those things going to start to enlarge. All right? Peace in your own spirit. To where, yeah, we can't find the Wi-Fi, and yeah, we got to wait 12 hours for the next plane to go, oh, well, we're here, let's go to sleep, let's charge our phones, let's just relax. You know? So it's like that peacefulness, like the brother was saying, that shalom, right? But wisdom gives that. Wisdom gives that. Oh, no, it's got to be what he said, the kefer? It's got to be the kefer or the bina. It's kefer, then kokma, then bina. It's like, no, it's kekma,
He says
to get that Shekinah, you know, that glory. You're never going to get the Shekinah of the Most High. You know what I'm saying? So it says that that wisdom will help you to enlarge your shalom, your peace, and to enlarge that perfect health, to flourish. Perfect health just coming out. Okay? So now, when you walk in that level of wisdom, now your body's right. Right? Now your state of mind is in peace. Now wisdom starts to show you how to do things. That's why she rains down skill and knowledge. So now wisdom says, okay, this is what you do, and this is how you do it. Okay? And then once you do that, now wisdom starts to put you up and exalt you. So now when you get exalted through wisdom, you will be a beacon of light, like the scripture we read. A light to the world to be drawn to Hamashiach, to Torah, and to Chakma. All right? Now, the origin and the start of everything we're talking about, once again, is to obey and do what Yahweh said to do. What he said to do. That's what we start at. To obey him. And then the result of obeying him is that extended positive growth that comes out of wisdom. Well, in scripture it calls it long life, right? But it's extended positive growth, not stagnant and not stumped and not long death, but a long life, which means that that positivity in your life keeps growing in all directions like branches on the trees, what it says. The root of wisdom is the fear of Yahweh, and the branches thereof are long life. But we just took it in, you know.
Why was she doing that? Why was she doing that?
Because she wanted to be healed.
She's been suffering for a long time.
Oh, why did she touch her? It was blood that was coming from her private parts for like, what, 12 years?
Yeah,
Like 12 years. It was blood just always coming from her private
Nobody
parts for
could
like,
help her.
like 12 years. No doctor could help her, nobody could do anything for her. Alright.
She got healed.
When she touched Yahweh's garment at the bottom, she was healed. The sickness was not in her body anymore because he had a lot of wisdom in his body and his mind. So much it got onto his clothes. But it was her faith that she could be healed and touching him that actually healed her. So she had faith in Yahweh that through his son Yahushua, she was going to be able to get free from that condition that she had. Okay?
So during Yahushua's time where the priests like actively, it doesn't seem like they were active.
Not in healing people and stuff like that. They were just examining, and that's why the law is very rigid. Wisdom comes with more flexibility, more dimension, because chakma, bam. She's chakma. It's a fence and then there's water. So it's barriers and chambers and then there's movement and water and life. All right? The priest is palm of your hand, behold, and then the fish. Like the palm of your hand, here it is, or let me see it, or cover it, atonement, and then there's the behold. So it's almost like it's over after that. But then there's like a movement, like a fish, which probably goes into like maybe the sacrifice or the nourishment that they can give us through studying the law. It was the letter of the law, but Yahweh through Chakma comes and gives us the spirit of the law. So the priest, they had insight, but they weren't healing people, But they had people that were healing, before Yahweh shied up, but only men that were very close to Yahweh. Moses and Aaron prayed for Miriam to get healed, and she got healed. Elijah and Elisha were healing people also. You see, so the miracles were happening with Rahab when everybody was killed except for her inside of that city. All right. You see that? So we had different levels of spiritual things happening, but not on the level of Yahushua. All right. So what?
It says Guyanese Yasharahla.
Who?
Guyanese. Guyyanese.
Guyanese. Guyyanese.
Khan.
Yeah. Guyana in South America, there's 3 tribes down there. One tribe is from the Galibi, which is the Garifuna family, which is the tribe of Dan. The Galibi, Galibi. Another tribe is they have a lot of that so-called, they have a tribe of Asher that's down there too in South America, right on the border with it's right on the border with Venezuela's in the east and then Brazil's in the south. That's one level. Right then the other people that are there is Benjamites that were brought there by the British and slaves. So you have 3 tribes down there primarily. So all those 3 tribes are Israelites. But you also have a lot of Elam down there in Guyana and South America also. But they're not Israelites. Those are Gawalian. Okay.
And then he says C still in NY in New York. And then he says Yahweh's will be done.
Okay, I'm Lord, yeah. Alright. Yahweh's will be done. Let's scroll down and see if we have anything else. Let's scroll back the other way.
Anything else? Oh, there's nothing else.
What you got, Izaria? Alright, so that's it. That's all. That's the first chapter of Proverbs, chapter 1. Look at that, learn it, review it, read it, live it. Most importantly, Hopefully tomorrow we're going to Proverbs chapter 2. We did bring out some of them things about that we read in chapter 1. We saw some of the things in Sirach chapter 1 also, right? Okay. Alright. Alright, so I think that's about it. So, Yahweh be with you, and then Yahweh Shai Mashiach. That's the wisdom from the scriptures, Chakma from the scriptures, coming from Paraza Yasharahla, coming from the land of Israel. Shalom to come.